Welcome to It Takes Two. I'm Blair.
I'm Chris.
And today we'll be talking about Married at First Sight, Season 17, Episode 10.
Listen, evidently, the real show is the after party. Evidently, it's not what we just seen for an hour and a half. It's the 30-minute to an hour thing that's after the show.
Yes.
But Blair will walk us through all of it. You ready, Blair?
I'm ready.
Let's go.
We start with Claire and Cameron waking up. Cameron brings up the conversation about his father's health, and he didn't realize he didn't communicate it clearly to her.
Wow.
She thought it was strange in the way that he brought it up in front of her friends. And Cameron says that his dad has been sick for many years. He's already grieved and accepted it. He was being short because to him, it just is what it is.
I got a question. If you ain't talking about what's going on in your life currently, what are y'all talking about? Cam wants the booty.
Yep.
Cam wants to have some physical connection. So what does he think makes that? His looks only? What does he think makes that? Like just saying it, touch me, tease me, please me?
It's like the more he brings it up, it's like maybe it'll happen. Physical intimacy. He says it like 20 times and she'll drop the draws. But
yet he's like, I just felt like I could just bring up my father. He been sick. It is what it is. So sex.
Yeah.
No, Cam. I don't think Cam knows that he's weird. And we gonna touch on Claire too, but Cam is very, how he's so weird that he don't think he's weird. It comes off as if he thinks he's like smart or like he's a genius. Yeah. But it's snobby
and it's odd.
Yeah. Someone's aura is just odd. You get what I'm saying? And that's what Cameron is. Continue, Blair.
Yeah, Cameron says that his dad is a survivor and anything he says to his dad could possibly alter that. So that's why he doesn't want to share that information with his dad. Claire is hoping at some point that he will, just because family is so important to her and she wants to be able to see that it's important to him as well.
Listen here. Okay. What about sharing it with Claire? You don't want to share about you being married to you don't want to share with your father rather that you are married on Married at First Sight,
right?
Because you don't want to alter his health, right? But you can at least include Claire in that process.
How so?
No, like tell her that. Besides just telling her this, like this conversation,
like after the fact,
it's not an authentic conversation. This is since you brought it up in front of my friends conversation. This is not a. This would have been an intimate conversation that could have led to intimacy. But now this is like you caught red-handed and now you got to say something.
Yeah, and low-key apologize for how you brought it up.
So it's not even like the points you would have got for it. It's like you don't get points for this because now like you got to explain. And now it's even a problem because she's like, well, do anybody in your family really bang with this? Because family's a big thing to me. Yeah. What do you think about this scene, Blair?
I just thought it just pointed to just their miscommunication. Yeah. I don't know if we want to touch a little bit on the after party.
Go ahead, touch it.
But he had said that before he told Claire that his dad wasn't well enough to get on the plane. And I guess in his mind, he was saying that he was sick. But that's very different from saying that to saying your dad's on his deathbed. So he was surprised by Claire's reaction, he said in the after party, because he basically said he wasn't well.
Not well and on deathbed, two different things.
Yeah, it's totally different. And that's that odd piece where it's just like, do you know that what you're saying is different? Or are you trying to like... I don't know what he's trying to do.
Exactly.
Look, I don't know what it is.
It's frustrating you. I see. Yeah. But the thing about it is he come on as if it's like, well, I told you that my father wasn't well. I thought that, you would at least understand that means he's on his deathbed. Do you understand that? Yeah. I am very, I keep my voice very monotone and because I keep my voice this way, I obviously know how to communicate very well. I fix bikes. You know what I mean? And I'm like, but your voice is that, but you're not saying anything. Yeah. Continue, because there's more on them.
Yeah. Well, next we move on to Brennan and Emily. Yeah. And finally, Brennan is doing something nice for Emily, and he's cooking her breakfast. Yeah. She apologizes to him for the night before with her friends again. And he said that he's going to try to not take it personally. He apologizes for getting defensive, but he said it felt like a personal attack. Okay. She says that she'll always take his side, and her friends were, in a way, crossing the line.
Listen here, man. y'all can say he was doing something nice, but guess what? Brennan got to eat too.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Like, I'll put 2 more eggs on for
her. I guess I have to put it on. The pot is already hot. You know what I'm saying? How do you feel about Brennan so far?
I don't like Brennan.
That is so straightforward and to the point, because that was my answer.
Yeah, that's how I feel about him. I do feel like in the situation with the friends, they came in really strong, but he isn't showing any care towards her or any affection, and it's not that he has to have all this warm, gooey feelings to do those things. Like, I just feel like he's just not being kind to her or being thoughtful of her.
And something's going to come on the after party, but now it's kind of know why he's not kind to her, because if you watch the after party, he feels like she don't deserve kindness.
Well, he didn't say that, but I'm interpreting.
Okay. I'm interpreting.
Well, what he said was that when we finally got it out of him, just her lifestyle, the partying, one night stands, he wasn't feeling that. And essentially, because he wasn't feeling that, he wasn't feeling her.
Yeah, exactly. You don't deserve kindness as a wife. Because your actions prior to me knowing you, prior to this whole experience, your lifestyle, no, it's not conducive to me feeling romantic about it. All this time he's lying to us, talking about he don't know what he feels. He feels nothing. He knows exactly what he feels.
Yeah, turn it off.
He knows exactly what he feels. He don't like her because he's like, you know what? Remember in the beginning of these reviews, I said red flag Emily, and then I took it back. He sees red flag Emily because he sees one night stands. He sees someone,
party girl.
A party girl. He sees someone who is quote unquote beneath the standard of a wife. That's why he can be like, I don't think she's ready for this process. Wow, being married to this guy.
Right.
That's why he don't, pick up her bags or help her with her bags. That's why he don't even help her with getting things out the oven, even though it is pigs in a blanket.
Yeah.
That's why it's like he don't talk about how attractive or not attractive or be straightforward with her, because he's like
she's not worth it.
No.
In his eyes. It's how he's coming across.
Exactly. Continue.
Yeah. Well, then we move on to Becca and Austin.
Yeah.
They are keeping it very surface still.
Yeah.
They're outside playing a game. She's trying to kind of add some sexual innuendos into the game. They're playing like Peg and something else. And she's trying to be patient when it comes to sex, but her patience is starting to run out.
Hey, Becca, why are you trying to have sex with your roommate? Why are you trying to have sex with the bro? Huh? That's
what the relationship seems like.
Why are you trying? Listen here, y'all are a platonic marriage. You get what I'm saying? Listen here, I don't think Austin like you. I don't think Austin like you like that. It's not a lot of guys, and I'm not gonna speak for every guy, but I'm gonna speak for some guys, right? It's not a lot of guys that is physically attracted to a woman that the woman is giving a green light. And say, you know what, you won't disrespect me. You know, I like you. We're married.
Yes.
You know, that he's like, you know what? No, I want to take it slow. How do you feel about Austin and Becca? Because people like this couple, and I'm like, I don't.
Well, I liked them at first too because I thought they clicked. I thought they had good chemistry. But the more that we look at them, the more they look funny in the light, basically, because Austin is not having any meaningful conversations to where I feel like you can form a strong bond and connection. You're really just hanging out with your buddy.
They look like homies.
And there's also no romantic connection. Like, they're doing a lot of kissing and touching and stuff like that. But clearly that's not enough. Like, that's very middle school. Like, we're married, okay?
Yeah, we gotta do what grown folks do.
All right.
Continue.
Yeah. Well, next, Cameron and Claire are eating dinner.
Yeah.
Cameron says something about like mastication, like when they're eating, and she was like, well, why didn't you just say like chewing? He says that he wishes he uses bigger words so people think he's smart. He said that in a joking way, but I take it seriously.
Of course.
You're trying to show out for some reason. I don't know if it's because of your job, and maybe you feel like you need to one-up her because she's in school to be a therapist, or if that's just how you are with everybody. But it seems like you're trying to prove something, and it comes off very odd.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Everything is a meaning to something else. So, like, for example... He maybe I could have said that better, but maybe once I give my example, you get it. He works at a bike shop, but he compares that to surgery because surgery is an elitist type of
Well, it's a serious,
exactly. It's a respected
career field. Yeah,
it's a. I don't want to say real, but because I don't want to offend y'all bike people. Because if I got a bike and I needed to put together, I'm taking it to the bike shop.
Yeah,
you get what I'm saying. But it's a respected type of field because it takes this amount of schooling, this amount of funding, and things like that. This
amount of education. You're smart.
So and things like that. But hold on, let me say that because I don't want to say smart. I don't want you to use my thing yet because I don't want to go to smart. I just want to stay to respected for a second, right? He says bike shop to surgery is respected, right? Then you see how he used that big word to where she's like, you could have said chewing. I'm gonna put the spotlight on Claire. She don't like him because when you're married or when you're in a relationship with somebody, there's little icks and there's little things that, like, you know, I may do something that Blair may not like. Blair may do something that I don't like. But to point it out every time, meaning that, like, I really don't really like you. And I think that's what Claire is doing that he's not seeing. And even though he's over here using the word, like, as Blair said, smart, he has some type of insecurity of trying to be viewed one way and trying to be accepted one way. And he thinks we don't see it.
Yeah.
But it's very evident that in some way and somehow he's not respected. And maybe because he is odd. So he does these things, like say these big words and compare his regular job to surgery and things like that because he wants to be respected. But I think Claire needs to be straightforward with this guy and be like, I don't like you. Because I'm nitpicking you now. Why can you just say chewing? Why couldn't he just have a normal conversation like, how was your day?
Yeah.
Because it's just not in him. It's just not his thing.
And my thing is, like, I mean, people have their quirks.
Yeah.
So I'm not even judging him to be like, oh, he's just such a weirdo. They needed to choose another weirdo to go with him.
Yes, that's facts. That's facts.
Because there's all types of people in this world. He has a match. Claire is just not that match.
No.
Yeah.
No. And I don't want to just put it on him, even though he plays a big part to me about what he is and what he's not. But, like, Claire, you can just see it. Like, it's something about him that just makes her skin crawl. And
he notices that.
Yeah.
He says, like, when you give me that face that, like, you're annoyed with something I said, like, he says that he feels stuck in the relationship. Like, he can't move forward or try to push things forward because she appears annoyed, which she needs to admit that she is.
Yes. And that's the thing that's frustrating me. I'm like, just tell him that you don't like him.
Yeah.
Continue.
And Claire says, well, there is zero romance.
Okay.
She's not sure if they might have hit a wall. And Cameron asks if he's been doing anything to where she's turned on romantically. And Claire likes that he has concern for her, that he asks if she's okay.
Okay.
She doesn't feel like he's doing anything to turn her off, but she's just not there romantically.
Stop right there for a second.
That's a lie.
No. Go ahead. You first. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm saying that's a lie. Like, I don't know if you're lying to yourself or if you're lying to him, but there are things he's doing that are turning you off. These big words of him trying to appear some type of way, calling his job surgery. Like, these are things where you're just like, okay, dude.
Yeah. This
isn't revving me up.
And maybe we ended at the same place, but, like, we took different routes.
Okay.
I don't think it's anything that he's doing that's turning her off. I think it's who he is.
Yeah.
It's something about his being that's turning her off. That's why when she says, like, there's nothing that you're really doing, I kind of believe her.
Yeah.
Because it's like, there's anything that he's doing, it's not like malicious intent. It's not like what Brennan is doing.
Yeah.
Like, I take a look at Brennan and be like, you're intentionally not trying to meet Emily anywhere.
Yeah.
But with Cam, I don't think it's anything that he's doing. It's just his whole aura of odd. He has an aura of odd that Claire's like, I'm just zero romance.
Yeah.
Because if I sleep with you or even be romantic with you anyway, I can't look at myself right. You get what I'm saying? Go ahead, continue.
Yeah. And then they start to talk about, like, physicality, and she's like, it would just be, like, so weird and unnatural for me. And she tries to say, you know, and it would probably be unnatural for you too. And he's like, no, not for me. He said, I'd be fine with kissing you. Cameron says, you know, with the limited romance, he is getting attached to her, but it would be painful to continue on in the relationship if they don't see a future together.
Yeah.
He asks her, is there even a 0.1% chance of this working out? And she says, no. There's more than that.
Here we go with the lies. There's 0% chance, man. What do you think so far? Basically the same?
Yeah, I mean, I feel the same way. Like, Claire does not seem into him at all. I think she is really trying to stick it out and trying to see if she could find something in her to like this guy, but it is really not there at all. And I will say that, you know, in a way I commend her for trying to stick it out, because I do want at least some of the couples to get to decision day.
I don't want none of these couples to be together.
I see that she's trying. I see that he's trying, but I agree. I just think she doesn't like him.
Yeah, I think it's a fake try. I think it's a try in the sense of I don't want to be viewed as a bad guy. Have you ever been with somebody that, like, you don't want to be with them no more, but they don't do nothing wrong? Like the time to break up with Cam was when he left you at the airport, walking and things like that, and the inconsiderate, right? But I think it's like he haven't done anything outright besides be himself in who I don't like. Yeah. Right. And I can't pinpoint. I can't say that you know, I want to break up with you because you didn't do anything. But at the same time, I can't be viewed as this bad guy to say I just don't like you. I think there's a lot of people on here trying to protect their own character and trying to protect whatever they think they are viewed as, but it's totally working the opposite way. Yeah, a lot of PC characters on here, a lot of politically correct characters on here, and Claire's over here like, you know what? It would be mean to say you have 0.01% chance. So guess what? You have more than that. You have 0.02% chance. You get what I'm saying? Continue.
Yeah. Well, Emily and Brennan go to Pilates class. Yeah, and that seemed to go well for them. They both enjoyed it.
Yeah. Continue.
Yeah. The couples are having a potluck. Yeah. And Cameron, he makes a comment when everybody comes together. He says, because everybody says they brought like one dish, and he says if we all brought enough for 8 people, we'll be feeding 36 people. And Brennan jokingly says like, oh, this guy's brilliant, he's a genius.
People see you, Cam. People see you. People see you. He's a try hard. Yeah. He's a try hard. Why? That's not even normal to say. Yeah. If everybody brought something, we able to feed 36 people, but there's not 36 people. Why even say that? Yeah. You're just odd. Continue.
Yeah. Well, Lauren arrives and they ask her where Orion is, and she says she don't know. Orion arrived shortly after. They discuss, all the couples discuss how their housewarmings went. Yeah. And Brennan shares that there's not a romantic bond yet between him and Emily, but they're working on it. Yeah. Lauren says that even through that, you know, you guys are sticking through it, and it's commendable because it's easy to leave when stuff gets hard.
It is easy to leave, right, Orion? Continue.
Orion goes on to say Lauren and I, and then Lauren corrects him and says just I, you. Basically thought it was time to end the relationship. Lauren doesn't feel like Orion gave this his all. She says that he slut shamed her. Yeah. He never apologized for how he made her feel. He didn't. All he did was cry about making her feel bad. Lauren is upset that he's been saying that she failed the marriage when all she's been saying is that he hasn't failed the marriage. He tells her, you know, you haven't failed the marriage, and she says, you know what, you change your answer every time. You do. Like, did I fail the marriage or not? Like, what are you even talking about? He tries to tell her basically, well, whatever your truth is and things like that, and Lauren's like, you're just gaslighting me. Like, and he doesn't even know what he needs to hold himself accountable for, apparently. Orion says in his heart he's already out, so that's just the end of the relationship.
What did you think about this whole scene, about them even showing up to the potluck and things like that?
I was annoyed by seeing them.
Me too.
Because I feel like, okay, we saw y'all break up. Yeah. We saw y'all go to y'all friends and family and tell them what happened. Yeah. I don't think they needed to come back to tell the group what happened in the disillusionment of their marriage. I just feel like it's overkill. I feel like as an audience, we got our closure. Yeah. The couples, I don't think they need to be worried about what they got going on.
Worry about their own problems.
Exactly.
Orion gets on my nerves.
Yeah, me too.
Because he is what you would call a coward, right? He shows the characteristics of a coward. He is the worst type of person when it comes to behind the scenes. He's all these things. He's mean. He's, you know, he's over here telling you about, you know, as Lauren would say, hoe shame or slut shame or something like that. But like in front of everybody else, he comes with the tray of food and he's smiling like, you know, we had our problems, but he's making it seem like it's just a little thing.
And like it's a mutual breakup.
But no, he don't go into details talking about how he asked Lauren to meet him somewhere. They changed last minute and say divorce, how he didn't communicate. And the only thing he communicated in the text was, I want a divorce. He don't talk about the flip-flopping that he did with Lauren. He just basically make it seem like it was both agreed by us.
Yeah.
That we couldn't go on. No. Don't put that on me, because that's the characteristics of a coward. You get what I'm saying? What you do, Orion, and what you did is not right. And actually, I actually have a problem with the producers of the show allowing them to still be part of the process. I know for sure, like, you know, you got to stay on and things like that. You get paid and things like that. You may have a contract. But I feel like that contract should be thrown out if one person or the couple agreed to be divorced before the ending day. Because like Blair said, it's overkill. And now we actually run the risk of damaging somebody. Now it turned from something from trying to keep people married or get people married to now just entertaining TV.
Yeah. Like,
you know what's going to happen when you have Orion and Lauren in the room talking about their failed marriage. Lauren is going to cry and she's going to have a breakdown. She already gone through, I think her mother passed away not too long ago. And now she's going through, quote unquote, a failed marriage that she feels like, hey, you know what? I've done my part. I messed up on certain parts and I asked for forgiveness and I'm willing to work for that. But when I ask for that same thing in the sense of like, give me the grace, give me the chance to prove myself and basically give us a chance to be married, you kind of make it seem like what I did was the worst thing and I'm the worst person in the world.
Yeah.
That's not fair to her.
No.
To keep her obligated to keep showing up to this failed marriage.
And to keep talking about it and belaboring the point. And like she said before, Pastor Cal, she could write like a letter to the US of A.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't matter what she says or how she explains things. No. And Orion, for some reason, doesn't think she understands when she clearly does.
Yeah.
So it's just overkill, like I said.
And like, and one last thing before we move on. And it's not that I just want them off the show because I wanted to break their contract. It's evidence that Orion is a different person on camera than off camera. So I'm like, if he is, quote unquote, coming on camera and making it seem like, you know, we just having little problems and we just both agreed that things like that. How do you think the person that going through this, knowing the truth, hearing his lies or these half truths, you get what I'm saying, going through it? That's not fair and that's not right. Let's continue.
Well, Emily asked them, do you think you guys gave up too fast? Lauren says, well, basically, you can't ask me that. I mean, I didn't ask for the divorce.
That's facts.
Orion doesn't think he gave up too quick. Orion says that there's a disconnect in their communication. He tries to use basically the disagreement or the conversation that just happened as saying like, see, like we can't even have a calm conversation without things getting heated. And it's just like, Orion, because you be lying.
Yes, you're lying.
And people don't want to sit here and just go along to get along. Like, no, I'm going to call you out on your lies.
You feel like you didn't give up too quick. I ain't know this was decision day. Was it decision day? Maybe I fell asleep.
It was not decision day.
So just that alone. See, watch out for these people, man, that keep calm voices but say nonsense out their mouth. Don't engage in conversation with them because they think they are making sense because they keep it calm. No, don't engage with them. Don't engage with no fool. Or why like, oh no, I didn't give up too quick. But as Blair just told me, it's not decision day. Yeah. So obviously you did give up too quick. Loser, come on, let's keep going. Come on, let's keep going. Well,
Cameron tells Lauren that she's not alone.
Okay.
And he shares that it's been difficult for him and Claire. They're having chemistry, romance issues, and they also don't agree on how they would raise their children when it comes to religion. He says that he's head over heels and he thinks she's a great person. He says they have a chemistry. It's a tiring, exhausting chemistry, but they have one. And Claire says that she likes that they challenge each other.
All the Claire compliments have nothing to do with like Cam the person.
It all has to do with like discord or butting heads.
Yes. Like, yeah, it's a challenge. You know,
I like that we challenge each other.
I like the fact that we are nothing alike and like we butt heads and things like that. Continue.
Well, Austin says that him and Becca are doing good.
Okay.
They also are having that religious issue and the slower intimacy speed. He says he needs more time to work through things. He needs time before talking about a lot of these big conversations. He really wants to know her heart first. Becca is getting emotional because it is difficult to see everyone struggling.
Everybody's going to struggle, but I think this cast specifically, this may be the worst cast of Married at First Sight history.
It's very bad.
I think I'm fair to say that. What do y'all think? Do y'all think this is the worst cast in Married at First Sight history? Because, and I don't know who to put this on. I don't know if to put this on the experts. I don't know if to put this on production. I don't know if to put this on the people. But it feels like we have found a group of people that portray one thing on camera, but portray something completely different off camera. Mm-hmm. And it conflicts each other.
Yeah.
And that's why whenever we see things on camera, it doesn't make sense to us.
It doesn't make sense, or we don't get really to the root of the issues. Like we can't pinpoint exactly what the issues are with people, or why people aren't willing to take certain steps to move in different ways. It's just like I feel like they don't want to reveal much to us, the audience. Like they want to keep a certain persona, especially Brennan. But I feel like everybody has a little bit of that, except for Lauren, honestly.
And
maybe Becca.
Let's go through this for a second, right? So you telling me Claire and Cam have intimacy issues. Brennan and Emily got intimacy issues. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Becca and Austin have intimacy issues. What is the process that is causing everybody to have the same issues? Mm-hmm. After a while, I'm not going to blame just the people that join up for the show. I have to look at the whole process, at the whole Married at First Sight process.
Yeah.
Now, granted, each person plays a part in this. Austin, even though things are good, and you say, we have that religious thing that we gotta talk about eventually that I don't want to talk about. I just want to chill with my buddy, Mm-hmm. But there is something about the intimacy issues on this show that they feel like that the experts didn't do a good job. Because Claire's like, in my opinion, why do you pair me with this guy? Mm-hmm. Brennan's probably like, why do you pair me with this girl? Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? Becca's like, I like Austin. I want to have sex with Austin. And Austin's like, yeah, there's some things we got to work out. I like when people say things, but don't say the things.
Right.
You know what I mean? Say the things, but say it's just some things, because that means you could just say it and continue to say it and never get to the root of the problem. There is something about the contestants of the show that is making this the worst Married at First Sight in the history of the show. Mm-hmm. Continue.
Well, we also see that Lauren breaks down crying in the confessional, just kind of talking and rehashing about, the conversations and what's going on.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm just like, give them a break.
Get her off the show.
Yeah.
Also, Lauren, stop crying. Now, I've been going in on Ryan and things like that. Listen here. No more crying, Lauren. This guy has shown the characteristics of someone that you don't want to be married to. I know your desire to want to be married cannot be stronger than wanting to be married to this liar, be married to this gaslighter and things like that. He slut-shamed you, your words. So you shouldn't cry over this guy no more. You should actually be thankful that he revealed his hand and that you won't be trapped in a marriage like this. That actually there is an out on the show that be like, you know what? Do y'all want to get divorced now? Be thankful. Don't cry over Orion no more. He ain't worth your tears no more. You get what I'm saying? Continue, Blair.
All right. So Claire is talking to Cameron back at the house.
Yeah.
Claire thought that they were the only ones having issues, but knowing they aren't makes her feel a lot better. Mm-hmm. Cameron says that Austin and Becca are having problems but aren't talking about it.
Yeah.
He says that seems unhealthy.
Yeah.
Brennan and Emily don't seem to be on the same page about something, but they can't really figure out what it is. Mm-hmm. And they're not being honest with each other. Claire says she and Cameron are both good at being honest, and that's beneficial to them.
Y'all both liars. Continue.
Cameron has been inspired to consider himself more moving forward after seeing Orion and Lauren's situation. There's something that might have been cut short there, he says. It's unfortunate, but he was inspired to think, it's unlikely we'll be able to move past our roadblocks, which is mostly the children religion issue. Mm-hmm. And he's thinking, is there an adjustment that we need to make? And Claire really doesn't know.
I find it very interesting that he felt inspired by Orion. The one that ended the marriage. The one that basically showed the characteristics of a liar and a gaslighter. Mm-hmm. He felt inspired because I think he only felt inspired to now put his foot down. Mm-hmm. Do you like me? Do you like me? Do you like me? You get what I'm saying? Like, that's basically...
Like today's decision day.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. He didn't see that everybody... Even though he said it himself, or maybe Claire said it, he didn't see that everybody's struggling. He didn't see that as encouragement. He instead looked at the failed marriage and be like, you know what I'm going to do, Blair? I'm going to put myself first. I'm going to start asking direct questions. You don't want to give me the sex? You know what? I'm going to put myself first now. And I'm just like, why are you inspired by Orion and Lauren? Continue.
Yep. Well, Becca and Austin visit Emily and Brennan's spot.
Yeah.
Emily has a one-on-one with Becca.
Yeah.
And Becca says there are big issues that'll take time, but they'll have to figure out. Austin doesn't think they need to figure out everything right now. Emily thought things were fine during the honeymoon, but now Brennan is shutting down. He won't tell her if he's physically attracted to her. And Becca says there's no way he isn't physically attracted to you.
Listen here.
Becca, you can't speak for him.
I think there is something wrong with Brennan. You get what I'm saying? And we will figure that out in the after party once we get to it. But I like, to your point, when we were watching the show live, you was like, look, sometimes you got to build up your friend and things like that. But sometimes you have to let them see the reality of the actual situation. A lot of these guys, listen, Brennan is shutting. He is completely in a whole different part of this marriage. He's not with Emily at all, right? But every guy in their own way is shutting down or shutting off a certain part of their marriage to their partner.
Yeah.
Austin is not open all the way. Cam is not open all the way. Orion is completely just a gaslighter. And Brennan don't want nothing to do with Emily. Yeah. It's just people not being honest. Continue.
Austin asks Brennan, because they're having a one-on-one, do you think chemistry and romance can grow? And Brennan says that it's different because in his past, it's been immediate. He says for him, divorce is not an option, so he's just going to continue to trust the process.
I don't even know what that means, brother.
Yeah. Emily thinks the connection was there. Becca wants to make sure she knows how beautiful she is. Emily believes a lot is there, but she does want someone who's sure of her. He doesn't give direct answers, so she really doesn't know what the issue is and what to do from here.
Yeah. Continue.
Cameron and Claire have a session with Dr. Pia. Cameron says their long-term viability isn't there. Pia asks, is there a possibility you can give this more time? They had a fundamental disagreement on children, romance. Cameron thinks they're compatible. He's getting more attached by being around her, but now it's time to protect himself because to him, their future is bleak. Claire says that this has been draining and we're not doing well individually. We have to put ourselves first. And Dr. Bia says, well, you guys can go back to what makes you work individually, to what makes you happy and what makes you whole. And then have some time focusing on the fun and just being in the moment of being together. Take off the heavy topics until the next time you speak with an expert. And Cameron says he'll sleep on that advice.
Listen here. How do you feel about Dr. Pia's, is her name?
Yeah.
How do you feel about Dr. Pia's advice? Because her advice seemed to be like, hey, don't talk about the big stuff. Let's just get to the fun part.
I felt like it was good, but I also don't think she can see the full scope of their relationship is that they really can't have fun together. No.
He's not a fun guy.
Right. Like they can't just focus on the fun because he's going to say something annoying. He's going to do something annoying. Claire's going to be turned off by it. He's going to see she's annoyed and he's going to bring up physical intimacy. Like it's just like they just can't just chill and have a good time. And we've seen on the honeymoon they've had moments, but they're not long lasting. Like the way that Becca and Austin could go days and weeks of just enjoying each other, Claire and Cameron I don't feel like they have that. I understand Dr. Pia saying y'all just try to work it out so we can make it to decision day is how I feel she's coming across. But I don't think that they can do it. I think they're just too different. So,
yeah, he's odd and she's not honest, and because of that, they both have their foundation of their whole relationship is not honesty. They think they're honest because they see challenge as a good thing, like we challenge each other. But the easy thing should be easy and the hard thing should be hard.
Yeah, we should at least be able to get along.
Exactly. So the fact that the easy stuff is not easy, I think that's a bigger issue. Because the hard stuff should only be hard. Continue.
Exactly. Next, Dr. Pia talks to Emily and Brennan. Emily shares that it was a rocky week, but they are back on track. Okay. Emily feels that they're still disconnected. Yeah. Brennan doesn't feel that there's chemistry. Okay. They're trying to let time move along to see if it improves. She says she never had a serious relationship. It's all new, but talking about emotions doesn't seem to be his thing. Okay. Brennan says that it is tough to verbalize his emotions. Dr. Pia asks, well, what has been turning you off? He says, well, let's be mindful of Emily.
Whoa.
He says it's not easy to talk about. Emily says that she needs to know how to move forward and fix things. And Dr. Pia says, and first we have to figure out what's going on so I can give you the best tips and advice. We need to have a frank and honest conversation about that. Emily is making facial expressions, squinting her eyes, and Dr. Pia is trying to figure out, what do these expressions mean? Like, what are you trying to communicate? Brennan says, basically, this is just my wife's face. He says his wife, he's going to make sure she's okay, and he's trying to low-key speak for her. And Dr. Pia says, that's why I'm here. Exactly. To make sure she's okay. Exactly. I don't need you to speak up for her or to speak over her. I'm asking her directly, what are these faces that she's making mean?
Do you know what's crazy? If you're making faces, because this is exactly how it went, right? If you're making faces and I, the doctor, asks you, hey, what do those faces mean? Yeah. And you, the other person, come out of nowhere and say, oh, no, that's just a thinking face. No. How don't you not see that I wasn't talking to you? I'm not attacking her. I don't have a sword. Yeah. So, like, what do you mean? Like, that's my wife, and I understand. Like, and you got to understand something. I don't know if you picked this up, but Brennan does something defensive. Like, when he talk with his hands, he kind of goes like this.
Like he's pushing the person
exactly.
away.
And Dr. Pia did it back to him. Yeah. You get what I'm saying?
Okay, body language.
You know what I mean?
All right.
Come on
Interpreter.
Now,
love that.
Stop it. Because he kind of did it as a defense and attack in a way. You know what I'm saying? And Dr. Pia was like, oh, no, you're not going to attack me and things like that. For one, I'm not your enemy. Yeah. So this just shows me right here, basically, especially when we go get on the after party in like a couple moments, everybody's lying to the doctors. Yeah. Everybody's lying to these people here to help y'all.
Even Emily, the one who I feel like she's not being that problematic, she's lying. It was a rocky week, but we back on track.
You're not on track.
Y'all is off the track.
What did you just tell Becca? What are y'all trying to protect?
And that's what makes the show so bad. Like, can we be for real? Please.
And guess what? We ain't gonna quit the show. But I'm talking about, this may be one of the worst seasons. Yeah. Because it seems like y'all are running for political office. Y'all trying to protect. What are y'all trying to protect? Yeah. And when the doctor asked you, Brennan, directly, what is it about Emily that you don't like? I'm paraphrasing things and say, he's like, well, let's be mindful of Emily. What are you talking about? Yeah. You get what I'm saying? What do you know? I think we gonna find out at the after party. Continue, Blair. Is there anything? My fault. Is there anything on that scene that you want to add?
No, that's all I needed to. All right. Yeah, Emily said that she's fine, and she says when she makes that face, she finally gets a chance to answer. She says it's thinking, but it's also frustration.
The second one's the truth. Exactly.
Emily, why are you agreeing with him saying that it's your thinking face? This man don't know you. You speak up for yourself and say what it really is. It's frustration. She thinks that they can't go anywhere unless she hears everything. Yeah. And Dr. Pia is trying to figure out what the barrier is. Again, she says we need a frank and honest conversation. Dr. Pia says, what is holding back the physical attraction? Brennan says it's a feeling he doesn't have, so he doesn't act on it. He doesn't know what the feeling is. It's just not there. And the feeling, to be intimate. Brennan says that he's never experienced this issue before because she asked him, is this something that you deal with, essentially? Dr. Pia asks if there's an emotion attached to that feeling of wanting to be intimate. Yeah. He says, maybe, I don't know.
Wow, that's two different answers.
He doesn't know what emotion is connected to it. Dr. Pia says, I see you as protective of her. I call it controlling. Yeah. Dr. Pia asks about your thoughts, his thoughts about therapy. Emily says the critical part about therapy is wanting to do it. Brennan says that he hasn't been to therapy, but he thinks it helps a lot of people.
Helps a lot of people.
Dr. Pia advises that they both, but specifically Brennan, enter into individual therapy so that way he can specifically identify his emotions. Yeah. He says he does self-reflection. He has a great support system, and he feels like he doesn't need therapy. He's not talking about his emotions because he doesn't have any.
Oh, I heard that before.
Dr. Pia says, that's an example of why you should go because everyone has emotions.
Brennan, who do you think you are, dude? You think you're a robot? Do you think you're like Siri or somebody or something like that?
I mean, we can see you wear anger all over the place. I'm about to say, that's a strong emotion that we notice.
Your eyebrows is very
furrowed.
Exactly. Listen here, Brennan. You're not special. And when I say you're not special, I mean you're not the first guy in the world that has no emotions. You have emotions. You're just not honest. And guess what? The thing about these type of doctors, these type of therapists and things like that, psychology doctors and things like that, they met you before.
Yep.
They met you before. That's why they're willing to help people like you. Mm-hmm. People think like, oh, I'm one of a kind. Like, because he's like, it's just frustrating. I'm paraphrasing that you're telling me to express something that I don't have.
Yeah.
And I wish Dr. P would have been like, you're not special. I met people like you.
Yeah.
like you're lying.
There's something there. It's always there.
Exactly. And that's the basically the moral of the story. There's something always there. Because the fact that you said, let's be mindful of Emily. No, I'm asking you how you feel.
Yeah.
If I want to talk to Emily, I talk to Emily. Continue.
Dr. Pia then meets with Becca and Austin.
Yeah.
Becca says that she likes making out with him, but he moves at a much slower pace when it comes to intimacy. He likes to have an emotional connection first. He thinks they just need more time.
Can I stop right there for a second?
Yeah.
Do you think he rejected her?
Becca?
Yeah.
Like what, one of her advances or something?
Like in the moment. Like, because they kiss all the time.
Yeah,
right?
I think so.
And you think, like as adults, we know what kissing leads to. Do you think like, because I think the reason why it hurts her more, I'm trying to work this out in real time, is that he rejects her in real time besides before the moment. There is a different feeling to, hey, Blair, do you want to do grown up stuff tonight? And that's when you're like, no.
Yeah, like I'm tired. I don't feel like it.
That's one way.
Yeah.
That's not as hurtful. It can hurt, but it's not as hurtful.
Yeah.
Compared to where kissing is getting hot and heavy, and then that's when you reject me in the middle.
Yeah.
I think that's what he's doing.
Possibly.
Because they say they kiss all the time, and I think that's why she's like, I'm not your bro. You know what I'm saying? Continue.
Becca says that she can empathize with where he's coming from, but there are two people's needs that are coming together here. Yeah. She's attracted to him, and if up to her, she would have moved further by this point.
Of course.
Austin feels great about it, and he feels the same way. It's bothered girlfriends in the past. So that gives me another thing to go off of. Like, okay, maybe it's not just a Becca issue. Maybe it's an Austin issue.
Maybe.
He says it's okay to do other things other than intercourse. He thinks that, will happen more in the moment. Like, he doesn't necessarily want to discuss what things are okay or what things are not okay, because Dr. Pia is trying to get into the specifics so we can figure out what's on the table. Yeah. Dr. Pia says talking about it can also be a form of foreplay. He's like, well, she doesn't need that. Like, she's already hot and heavy all the time. Like, well, she needs a cold shower, basically. Dr. Pia says getting to know each other sexually is also important to know and to verbalize it.
Yeah. Anything you want to add to this scene?
Not necessarily, no.
Let's keep going.
Yeah. Well, Cameron and Claire, Cameron asked Claire, do you want me to stay?
Talking about inside the apartment.
Yeah. Claire says, if you left, I'd be sad. But I don't know if that's just me being alone that I'd be sad about, or if it really would have something to do with you leaving.
All these answers and all these questions are like riddles.
Yeah,
it's never no straight answer. You ain't catching Batman. I mean, you ain't Batman not catching the Riddler. I guess it just seems like it's an essay question every time. Do you want me to stay or want me to leave? Well, if you leave, I don't know if I'll be hurt if you're leaving, or I may just have lonely issues. It's just like, oh my gosh, both of y'all give me a headache now. Continue.
Yeah. Well, he thinks it's unhealthy because he wants to love her, but he doesn't want them to hurt each other.
Okay.
He asks her, do you see a future with me? She says, I don't know.
Wow.
She says she's trying to stay present in the moment, like we talked about with Dr. Pia. He says, tonight I'll sleep in the spare bed and see if that's something that we can maintain. Claire just doesn't want him to be resentful towards her about anything. But I think he will, because you're not being clear.
Yeah. And also, stop trying to be the good guy.
Yeah.
Talking about she ain't say, like, I want him to stay. No. She said, I just don't want him to be mad at my decision. I just don't want him to be resentful about me not liking him, because I don't like him.
But also she's saying, like, well, I don't want to be the person to tell you to stay if you really want to leave. It's like, well, that's not what we're discussing right now. Yeah. We're discussing what your wants are.
Yeah. And now here, we going to touch on the after party soon, guys. Still hang with us. Is that...
It was a good after party. That's why we keep referencing it. Yeah. It was good.
And this seemed like, watching this without watching the after party, this scene came out of nowhere. It seemed like it just just progressed to like, do you want me to stay? Do you want me to leave? This man just got done talking about how attracted he is to her and how much he want to do it. But now, since the Orion thing, since he got some fight and some inspired by Orion situation, it just felt so out of place. But the after party kind of give us some light a little bit to just the foundation of their relationship. You get what I'm saying? Continue.
Emily thinks the conversations are moving in the right direction. Brennan feels like he's being open and honest, and he can't help how he feels, which is nothing. Emily says, I think you have feelings. You don't know what they are. I think I share. He says he thinks that he shares his feelings as much as Emily, thinks that he shares his feelings as much as he can. He says, you see, I'm getting frustrated. He says that, you never brought up serious topics. I don't know why you keep putting this on me. She says, you seem like you want to be negative and upset, and I don't know why this conversation got so serious so fast. It got
very serious very fast. Continue.
Emily asks why he isn't feeling good. She thinks it's an important piece of the problem. He's upset because he didn't like hearing he should go to therapy, and it's never going to happen.
Wow. Well, there you go, Emily. Continue.
Yeah. And really, that's pretty much it.
Listen. What did you feel about this episode, Blair?
I just thought it was just a lot of vagueness. And I'm like, how, especially when we're with the experts, like they talk about how they like the experts and appreciate the support, and they can bounce things off of the experts. But if we're all not being honest about what's really going on and what we're feeling, the experts really can't do any real work.
Yeah.
Even Emily trying to smooth over the fact of, we're doing okay, we're doing good, we're just a little disconnected. Like, you're not even being honest.
No, you're not.
In the situation. And that's not helpful either. So
let's touch on the after party with Claire and Cam. Right? Help us with this after party thing, because so far, what I've seen, based on the last couple of scenes that you shared with us, is that it seemed like Cam came out of nowhere with this ultimatum.
Well, what happened in the after party?
Go ahead.
We're just kind of speaking high level overview. Is Cameron said that off camera, Claire asked him to leave the apartment. So that's pretty much why he was trying to get her to say on camera, do you want me to stay? Do you want me to leave? Like, what do you want? He wanted her to actually verbalize it and say it on camera, but she wouldn't do it. And then we get more information about how Lauren is speaking from Claire's side, because it's Brennan, Lauren, and Cameron at the after party.
Yeah.
And Lauren is saying, well, Claire has told me some things that you've said in the relationship about, her body not being a certain type that you like. She has too big of a booty. It wouldn't satisfy you in the bedroom, like all this type of stuff. And Cameron is saying that he never said anything like that. He made a comment about, I think he made a comment about dating slender women, but he said Claire is a slender woman, and that's something that he's into. He's very attracted to her. So it seems like, I don't know if there's a miscommunication or just straight up lies going on between them, but Claire saying, or there's been something said where Claire has said that she's into black guys, but Cameron said, but I don't even know how that's true because all her exes are white.
Oh my gosh.
So I really don't even know where to go.
Somebody's lying. That's basically the moral of the story. Somebody's lying.
Yeah.
And I don't know who's lying, but I will say this though. If a lot of the things that is happening behind the scenes and you are showing a different person on camera, then everybody's lying. And Claire, you're included in that. If you're telling this guy off the camera, right? I don't care if the chicken or the egg came first. I don't care if it's because he said something to you or did something to you first. But if you're telling this man off the camera that you want him to leave the apartment, that basically there's no attraction and things like that, I don't really like you, off the camera, basically going into detail. And then you get on camera and you're like, well, I don't know what I want. Then I'm like, you're being deceiving. Yeah. And you should be in trouble for that. I don't know what the punishment's gonna be. Right. And Cam, if you are the one that quote unquote criticized this woman's body to her, but then you over here on camera talking about how much, like, I just feel like she don't like me. I don't know why. Yeah. But behind the scenes, you know exactly what you said. Now I'm just going on if everybody's telling the truth here. Then Cam, you're weird, you're still odd, and you're lying. You can't criticize somebody and then talking about how much you want sex.
Yeah.
And things of that nature. It's just very weird. It's not honest. And speaking of someone who's not honest, Brennan, you are not honest. Because we figured out the reason of why you quote unquote put on this wall to Emily. It's because, like we said earlier in the episode, because you felt like she is not ready for marriage based on her history.
Yeah.
Or no history, rather.
Yeah, like he brought up the one night stand conversations they've had, or her being a party girl, and him saying that I don't know if she was really ready for this process. And those were the things that turned you off that you didn't want to say. And maybe there was more to it, but you could have at least shared that.
No, because he wanted to be mindful of Emily. Remember, he said that. But he's not being mindful of Emily. He's actually being more hurtful to Emily. Here's the thing about it. I don't know what it is, but this whole stigma of these men coming on this show this season, judging women by their past, makes no sense. Makes no sense. You should already know off the strength of the show that you're marrying a stranger, a total stranger. So by you actually closing your eyes and going like this, you should accept what's given to you, because the fact that no one made you sign up for the show.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Hell, one person, Cam, his family don't even know he's on the show. So I'm like, who are you to quote unquote judge somebody, call them a red flag because they have one night stands and party all the time, but yet you're the one that signed up for the show? And then tell her she's not ready for marriage while she's doing everything to prove to you that, like, you know what, I haven't had a real relationship, but give me a chance.
And like, I even think back to the episode or the season where, like, Virginia, the girl who actually was a partier, who liked to drink, who liked to go out and stuff like that. You've had girls on the show who were like, I'm going to go and hang out with my friends every weekend like I normally do. And Emily hasn't been that way. She really is trying to change and be what she needs to be for this marriage. It's like he's not even seeing it.
That'd be one thing if if she was doing the same thing as a single woman in the marriage, to your point.
Yeah.
100%. But they haven't even been in the first week. You wouldn't even move in with her.
Yeah.
So you haven't even given her the chance to basically prove you right. You get what I'm saying? Anything else on that after party that stood out to you about the whole experience with Married at First Sight?
And then another thing with Cameron and Claire is that it was mentioned that off camera that she says that touching is off limits. Like, she doesn't want the hand holding, the kissing, anything like that. Then we get on camera and we're talking about intimacy and how we need to be more physical, but she's saying it's just very awkward for both of them. So it's very conflicting information. Even Lauren was saying she was confused because she had heard different things from Claire from what Cameron was saying. And I don't know who's telling the truth and who's not, honestly.
Somebody's lying, though. Somebody's lying. And I don't even know who has the motivation to lie.
Yeah.
Like truth be told, like, I will say this. If I had to choose, Claire do come off as the type to be like, hey, don't touch me. Don't touch me. But Cam do come off as the type that I don't want that type of person to touch me.
Yeah.
Like you're too odd, man. Like Cam doesn't do anything that I've seen on camera that proves, like, he's doing everything to a goal. He's not doing it because he love or like the person. I don't even want to use love. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get you a flower.
Or even genuinely wants to show interest and spend time.
It's transactional.
Like, yeah.
He's like, I'm gonna go get this pot of flowers off somebody's lawn because it's gonna get her to touch me. Yeah. I'm gonna do this because it's gonna get her to touch me. And I'm just like, I don't know. But to your point, Blair, if everything that she's saying off camera to this guy, to Cam, right? It kind of explains why he's so sporadic on camera that we see during the show. Yeah. Because I'm like, a lot of things I don't understand where Cam's coming from. But if this is the Claire that he's seeing off camera, then I'm like, okay, I get it. More of the story, both of them are weird. Cam and Claire, I wasn't a fan of both of them anyway. I'm not a fan of Brennan. I'm not a fan of Orion. I'm not a fan of Lauren because I saw the preview. Don't think I didn't see it. She said she's open to being open. Lauren, don't play with us.
If you go back, you're on your own.
Yeah.
I ain't sticking up for you no more.
No. Listen here.
Don't get into some type of situation with
Blair. Go take the gloves off, y'all. I'm usually the one to take the gloves off. She go take the gloves off on you. You know what I'm saying? She ain't gonna hit you though. You know, I don't like Orion. Lauren, if you go back with Orion, we would not like you, as Blair would say, we would not defend you and things of that nature, because when somebody show you who they are multiple times, this ain't the first time, this is multiple times, you should believe them. Michael, we forgot about you, buddy, but it seems like somebody got somebody for you.
Yeah.
Who else is on it? Becca, Austin, be honest with that girl and tell her you don't like it like that. Mm-hmm. Tell her you don't like it like that. I don't know what it is. Anything else, Blair?
That's all I got.
Y'all be good.
Bye.